The deal with Damian Thigpen is he was a little tight, and since he had the history of the pulls in spring, we just put him on the bike, and he should be back this afternoon. Everyone else is doing well. It was a good practice, and once again got some good situational work in, and so we're making progress.
How'd the bowling go last night?
We had a good time last night. I think it was a fun event for the players. We split up the teams kind of randomly, so there were guys that once again hadn't spent a whole lot of time together teaming up, and we had a fun time.
Is there a little bit of a hangover effect today with that?
No, the start of practice we had to kick it in a little bit. These are young men, and they're still developing, and they're still learning, and they're still maturing, and sometimes they just need a little push to get going. And what they have to understand, I think what they're becoming, what they're starting to understand is that, every time you step on the field, regardless of the circumstances, you have to focus in. So I thought they responded well.
With the safety situation, have you started looking at shifting guys around a little bit to maybe bump the numbers? I mean, you already did with Abbott, but...
No? You mean, what do you mean?
I think I saw Jefferson there one day.
Oh, he's been there all camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, we moved to Anthony the second day of camp. Yeah. And he's playing safety, corner, and nickel. Right. So, that versatility that he brings really helps us. So,
but the numbers were a reason that the...
Yeah, and, and just his skill set kind of fits that position where he can be, versatile, where we can use him in a lot of spots. A guy like that, you need that. You need some versatility. And he's very smart, and he's been able to pick up the corner, the nickel, and the safety. And I've been impressed with him.
So Adams' development to make that easier to do, moving corners.
Adams, Goforth, yeah. Rios, the three freshmen. All three of those guys have been pretty darn impressive. Once again, it's practice, so games change a lot of things. But just the indicators that we get from them is that, they're guys that we think can contribute this year.
Aaron Wallace looked like he got a lot of work today. How's he looking to you?
He is developing. Yeah, he's developing. He has, good days, and then he has days where, he falls behind a little bit. But I think that he's a very talented guy, and Coach Olbrook's doing a nice job with him. And, you look at him, and physically he looks exactly what you want an outside linebacker to look like. And he's just a young guy who's just kind of learning his way, but we're excited about his future.
When you say Thigpen was tight, is it his hamstring or what's tight on him?
His lower body. I don't know. It was either hamstring, groin, quad, something, but it's nothing. It's no big deal.
We're gonna get you a Gray's Anatomy book.
Yeah, I am going to stay away from. I'm going to stay away from all medical diagnosis because I'm obviously not qualified to make any of those.
With that being said, did you find out if Devin had a concussion or not?
Minor.
Okay.
Minor.
Okay.
Minor. Very, 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 very low grade,
okay.
But still enough that we're going to be careful with it. Yeah.
How much is Jake Brendel's, picking up the center position helped with the offensive line?
A lot. He's a redshirt freshman, and he doesn't play like a young guy. He's sharp and he's tough and he's out there every day. He's dependable. He's able to make the calls. So because you've seen, besides center and left tackle, it's been like musical chairs in there. We've had to move a lot of guys into a lot of different spots, and really that's good. And then eventually you need to settle in. It's good for them to have position versatility. But Jake being in the middle and being solid and being smart and being tough and handling all the calls has been a real positive for us.
Has he gotten into the rhythm of the tempo better?
Feels like it. Yeah. I mean, does it feel like it when you watch it? He's a very serious kid. He's always, he comes out here with a mindset of he's going to get work done. And the center, when we're going at our tempo, when we are going up tempo, the center has to set the tempo because he's got to find the ball and get it down. And some of this isn't fair to these guys because, in a game, the ball goes down and everyone sees where it's down. But since we're not tackling, I might put it anywhere, so they kind of have to find it. I think that's good for him.
He's kind of that typical West Texas football player.
He's just tough, and he's just smart, and he's hard-nosed and gritty, and he doesn't say a lot, but I think he's a real leader on this team. I think his fellow players really respect him.
So he is typical West Texas football.
Yeah, I've never been to West Texas to see those kids.
Not high on my recommendation list.
But I know my high school played against a team from West Texas, and we got beat. So they must be pretty good because my high school team's pretty good.
What's a muddle?
Muddle?
Yeah.
A muddle is a type of huddle. It's a muddle huddle. So it's about 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. where the wide receivers stay wide and the linemen in the backs just kind of turn their back and then just turn around and get right on the ball. You know, we don't have a really necessarily conventional huddle, you know, the circular huddle back there where everyone's 7 yards from the ball and runs up and takes 30 seconds to get set. We just kind of try to go at a tempo. So even when we're going at a muddle huddle tempo, we're still operating pretty fast. You've heard that term before, haven't you? No, muddle huddle. It's the old. It's like with Sam Weish. They used to kind of muddle up real quick. You know, kind of not a real organized huddle, kind of an unorganized huddle. Quick, everyone get their head in there, get a call, and let's go.
I've seen it. I didn't realize that was.
That's what it's called. Yeah, muddle huddle. Muddle. I believe Sam Weish coined that phrase. I'm not positive, but I believe it. I believe it was. Yeah, I believe it was Sam Weish. And remember when the Cincinnati Bengals used to do that, try to catch you in substitutions. So I think that's where that came from.
You got Cheecher back. Do you expect anybody else coming back for this camp? San Bernardino.
For San Bernardino, I don't know. I think that there's a chance that Simon could be back out here tonight or tomorrow, but I'm not certain that he will be. I don't even know who's out sometimes. You know, no, I don't think Jeff will be back. We're going to be very careful with Jeff. We're going to be very careful with Alberto. We're going to be very careful with Will Oliver. But Simon seems to be the guy that's closest. Okay. Patavisi seems to be pretty close. Ellis is making progress, but we won't put him on the field out here. Besides that, no, I don't think so.
Are some of those linemen going to need some sort of acclimation period when they do get back?
No, they've all passed through the acclimatization period. You mean the one that's by rule, or just be taking care of them?
Guys who have been out for
oh, certainly, yeah. We'll have to ease them back in, and we'll have to monitor their reps. And it'll depend on when they get back. You know, what phase we are in our preparation for Rice. If it's by this weekend, then you know we can give them a couple days, you know, and work them in slow. If we're, you know, close to the Rice game, we might have to amp it up a little bit. So it just depends on when they're back.
Did you guys change, you know, after the first few days, how you're working the offensive line?
Yeah. Well, we're down numbers, you know, and when you're down numbers and you go at the tempo that we go at, you have to be careful with those guys. They're the biggest guys. It takes them the longest to cool off, and so we modified how we practice them strictly because of numbers. We still get a ton of work in. You know, I told you this yesterday. We had 105 plays of team yesterday. Today we probably had, you know, 80 or 90. So we get a ton of reps and we get them fast. We did our first team period 30 plays in 11 minutes and 30 seconds. You know, so we're moving along at a crisp pace. And when we're doing that, those guys are getting a lot of repetitions, and because they're down in numbers, we just have to, you know, we got to put them in the shade for a few minutes. We just have to, you know. They just, I don't know if it's physically possible, would be physically possible for them to go 2 hours at that. Well, it wouldn't. None of us could.